Hello everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Rachel and we are here to talk about black tourmaline today. I would say black tourmaline is probably the most popular protection crystal that there is. And if I had to come up with a tagline for it, I would call it an energetic bodyguard. Black tourmaline helps you on a spiritual level, an emotional level, and on a physical level. And it's all about cleansing and protecting. Black tourmaline is one of those crystals that I feel like is good for everyone, no matter where you're at on your spiritual journey. And even if you're not on any kind of spiritual journey, black tourmaline is going to help you so much. Trust me. So first of all, it's like a sponge. It's just like soaking up the bad energy, both in your environment, but it also takes any lower bad energies out of your aura that you might not want there. And then it's supposed to kind of shield your energy in a bubble. So it's after you're already cleansed from it, it's keeping you in this little bubble and it's making sure that nothing penetrates your bubble that you don't want it to. So any lower or negative energies can't even reach you when you're in this bubble. Now, emotionally, it helps you get rid of your own negative thoughts and feelings like judgments and fears, anger, shame, worry, any kind of toxic emotions. It's going to help clear those out of you as well. So it's not just about other people's negativity or even negativity of places, it's also your own. So it's helping all of that, get rid of your own, take anything out of your field that you don't want, put yourself in a bubble to make sure that it doesn't come back. But also, okay. So in that way, it's actually raising your vibration, which I don't think a lot of people think of black tourmaline as a crystal that can help raise your vibration. Usually you think of ones that are going to enlighten you or open your third eye or the really high vibrational stones. But because it's taking all of this stuff away from you that can keep you kind of stuck in the muck of life, it's instead helping you to get rid of all of that. So when nothing's holding you down anymore, usually your natural state is much higher than what you're living in because of the world that we live in today. Unfortunately, there's so much stuff being thrown at us that we don't want and that we don't need. So this is so good because it helps you get rid of it. Also, physically, it actually physically helps your body get rid of toxic substances. So it's working in the environment, it's working in the spiritual field, it's working in your emotional field, it's working in your physical body. It's all over. Black tourmaline is just this all over wonderful, wonderful crystal. And I've been holding this one and I haven't even shown you. This is a really interesting double tourmalated piece, which is great for energy work. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But this one actually has some lines in it, which are either hematite or iron. And I mean, I still remember the moment I saw this thing. It was on this bottom shelf in a crystal store, and there was a few of them, and they were, God, just the color of these lines just drew me in. It's something that I don't have, and I had to have it. So, but tourmaline comes in a multitude of shapes and types and sizes. This is a haystack tourmaline because of the way that it is shaped. See, it's kind of like a haystack, which is why it's called that. It's a little bit rougher, it's a little bit flakier. They can kind of come apart a little bit. And I have an even more fragile one, which is just full of, sometimes tourmaline grows in the matrix, which is usually a clear quartz or a lepidolite, mica, things like that usually grow near tourmaline. So tourmalated quartz, which we're going to talk about later also. This is the tourmaline part, is this long part, and this is the matrix, what it grows in, and this is quartz. Now, tourmaline, when it's in a line like this, rubbing it can actually produce an electrical charge, which is another cool thing about tourmaline. It's an electric conductor. But this piece, so see, we have parts of the matrix in there, but we also have a lot of mica, which is these shiny bits up here. These are oh, there goes one, little layers of mica. And then I'm pretty sure there's little pieces of pink tourmaline growing alongside of the black tourmaline too. It is a little bit hard to see, but some of the strips are actually kind of pinkish, but also there's these tiny little brighter pink gemmy pieces, and I'm pretty certain they're pink tourmaline. Let me see if I can get it on camera at all. These, see how gemmy and pink they are? Like that's definitely pink tourmaline in there. This is just a beautiful piece. I found this when we went to the mountains, and I did a whole video on all the crystals I found in the mountains. I'll link it for you. I just think this piece is extraordinarily beautiful, and I try not to touch it too much because it's so fragile. I mean, it's literally coming apart in my hands. There's a piece, but I just want to show you this other side before I put it back down. Isn't it just beautiful? Like, ugh. So the tourmaline gets rid of all the bad energy, it helps you raise your vibration and all of that, but then also it's giving you this great grounded feeling. It's extremely grounding and centering, and it gives you kind of like this safe feeling. And I mean, first of all, it's doing all those great physical things for you. So it is getting rid of the toxins in your body, but it's also making you feel like it gives you this great sense of vitality, which I feel like also gives you a sense of like confidence and coming into your own energy, which is another indication of it like raising your vibration a little bit. And because on the emotional level, where it's helping you get over your fears and your judgments and worries and things like that, again, you're feeling better. So you're already feeling better in all these ways, but then also you're feeling grounded and safe, which means instead of feeling like you're just like floating around kind of like aimlessly and being a little bit lost, when you're grounded, you feel much more centered and connected to your like strength and your purpose. And it always feels like less of a risk to do things when you're in this great grounded space, because when you're already on the ground, you can't fall anywhere, right? Like you have this power right under you and right behind you, and it's protecting you and keeping you, like it has your back. So when you have all this great energy and support around you, it's so much easier to then go and do what you need to do. So I want to read you a little quote by Katrina Raphael because I just thought it was great. Black tourmaline will teach its students how to remain radiant in the darkest of circumstances and how to maintain a spiritual consciousness while living in the midst of large polluted cities and being surrounded by unconscious people. I just felt that so hard when I read it. She goes on to say, it will share its secrets of how to plant seeds in the minds of people that will eventually sprout into blossoms of greater awareness. So, how to use black tourmaline? Of course, you can wear it. Wearing it around is great because it helps you when you encounter the people in life who are constantly negative and they're stuck in that kind of like victim mentality, which is one of the lowest vibrations you can be in. If you ever catch yourself there, please get yourself out of it. You are in control of your own life. Anything that you think is happening because of anyone else is just a reflection of what you need to heal inside of yourself. Okay, so when we're wearing black tourmaline, it helps protect you against the moaners and the whiners and the complainers. And the way that it does that is by, remember that energetic bubble we told you that was going to be around you? So it's not like you still can't hear it, but hopefully the actual energy of it is bouncing off of your bubble and not actually being soaked into you. And then when you're taking this on, and that starts to be so stressful when you're carrying around other people's stories and other people's stress. So it's really good to have it on you physically. I've actually been wrapping some little pieces into pendants. You could wear a little pendant. It's pretty easy to find black tourmaline bracelets. You can always just take a tumbled piece. You can get black tourmaline in a tumbled form. You can put this in your pocket. You can put it in your bra. You can put it in your sock. You can take a piece of metal and wrap it around this and make a necklace and wear it. Yeah, wear black tourmaline. Another way that I use black tourmaline is to grid it around the house. And there are so many different ways to grid your house to kind of protect it from things. One of my first videos was about that, so I'm not going to link it. I will save you from having to watch the awkwardness of finding yourself on YouTube, but The basics are using black tourmaline and or selenite in the corners of your home, beside the doorways, helps protect your home from bad energy. Another way to do it is I take a lot of these little pieces. They're just tiny enough to stick on the tops of my doors. So all of the rooms in the house that we use often, I have 2 pieces of black tourmaline on top of each door. So when you're coming and going from each room, you're being like squeegeed of your negativity each time. And if you do something like this, you do need to remember black tourmaline is something that you should cleanse often, especially if you're using it to fight negativity or whatever. You do need to cleanse it, because if it is doing all this work and it never gets cleansed, it is very common for them to like crack and splinter and things like that. I actually had a time where I was home alone for a few days and I hadn't cleansed these like since I put them up. And in the weekend I was home alone, 2 different ones flew off of the door frames and like broke on the floor. And that was my indication that these definitely need cleansed. So keep that in mind. That's one of the reasons that I say to use selenite or satin spar, because that's a crystal that you don't need to cleanse all the time. And actually putting it next to other crystals like this one help keep it cleansed and charged. So it's actually, I think, most beneficial to use a protection stone like this with a piece of selenite next to it, and use that to protect and grid your house or your room. Personally, I have the house, in each corner of the house, I have selenite. And then in the 4 corners of our bedroom, I have tourmaline. And then I have tourmaline on top of all the doors. But like I said, I do cleanse them now. Every time that I sage the house, I make sure that I hit the tops of the doors, and I always try to get the ones in the corners of our bedroom. And it just feels very like super safe in there. I don't know, very um it's just much more of a grounded feeling. It's also great to keep black tourmaline around electronics, because it actually also cleanses stuff in the air, EMFs, Wi-Fi, all that stuff that is probably not great that it's like flying through our bodies all the time. But here we are living in 2021, so black tourmaline near your electronics is a really good placement for tourmaline and a really good way to use it. I also personally keep one of these in my car. It's a pretty big one like this, and I just have it in my center like console thing. I just have it right in there. I remember when I first put it in there, what a big difference I felt in my car. I get extreme road rage, but I think it's more the fact that I can feel, I live somewhere where there's a fair amount of traffic, and when I'm driving, I will take every back road I can to get away from other people. And I think it's just because I can feel everyone's frustration and everything that everyone is going through. And we're on these highways, we're not that far away from each other in our cars, we're sitting at red lights forever and all this stuff. And I can just feel too much stuff. And that's why I get really, I don't have very much patience when I'm driving, and I think it's just because I want out of the situation. But I remember when I first put this in my car, I definitely felt a shift in myself, and I did feel much more like grounded and safe. I haven't cleansed it at all. I'm gonna do that today. Another really good thing to do is sleep with black tourmaline in your pillowcase. You can put it under the mattress. Just keeping it near you when you're sleeping is also going to make you feel a lot more secure. And if you have problems with nightmares or anything like that, this is one that might help you. Black tourmaline is also said to sometimes push along a very powerful awakening experience, which again, you wouldn't necessarily think of black tourmaline as a stone of awakening, but it makes so much sense when it helps you so much get rid of your own stuff, that then you can kind of like see more clearly into what you need to see. So that's my theory on why it's a good awakening stone. But I think that that's really interesting, because I also feel like it's such a like beginner type stone. It's one that pretty much everyone, when you ask, oh, what crystal should I get as a beginner, I would say black tourmaline is going to be in everyone's top 10. Most people's top 5, but definitely top 10. Now, tourmalated quartz, which is quartz with the black tourmaline in it, has all of the properties of black tourmaline, but it also has like more. It's like boosted into its own kind of like metaphysical properties in itself. And because it's a combination of black and white, it is supposed to be this like perfectly balanced energy, and where the dark and the light are coming together to fight for the same purpose, which is like super powerful. It's supposed to be a very, very good luck charm. It's a symbol of great fortune. It's very, very protective because quartz is like a battery pack. So it's like just giving the tourmaline even more power. And it's always powerful when two different energies are coming together for the common goal. And that's what's happening here. And I think that's what makes this like so very powerful. I have a tower of this somewhere that I'm gonna have to go find for you. I just walked all over the place looking for this tourmalated tower, and I couldn't find it. And I finally gave up and came back in here, and as I'm sitting down, I see it because we had a new moon the other night, and I wrote down some manifestations and I built a grid on top of it. And I have so much going on in my room right now that I just put it under the window on the floor. So it's down there. So here is my tourmalated quartz tower. And this one, because it has a point, it's really good for energy work. So black tourmaline is wonderful for energy work anyways, because it does so much of the work on its own, cleaning your aura and things, but also energy healers can then use the tourmaline to help them remove blockages and things like that. And there's so many different ways to do it, but wands are a great way to do it when you can actually point the energy where you want it to go. So like if you were doing, it's so hard to talk right now with this. I think because it was just in that grid, which is super powerful. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 7 pieces of moldavite in that grid. There's a Vogel style crystal in that grid. This has a lot of energy in it. Anyways, actually being able to put the tourmaline on your body, and with the tourmaline having a point, it can actually direct the negative energy out of your body or direct it wherever you need it to go. Whenever you do have blockages in certain parts of your body or chakras, energy healers might use the tourmaline wand counterclockwise on top of it while pointing at your aura. That's a way to remove blockages with black tourmaline. So the shape does, not that the shape matters, but the shape can help and be beneficial to you in certain forms for certain things. I love using towers in the middle of grids because your intentions are laying in the grid, and then this is what sends it up into the universe. So thinking about the shapes is important too. These are just another type of tourmaline you can get. Now this is just a piece of the tourmaline that has been taken out of the matrix. So how these pieces of tourmaline are still in the matrix, these are the same thing, they've just been taken out. So these shapes I love specifically for gridding. I love putting these in a grid. Black tourmaline in a grid is like putting a filter on your grid, because let's say, just a quick little grid talk, let's just say that you are making a grid to attract love. So let's say you're using rose quartz to draw in love. And so let's say a horrible person enters your life and you think you're in love with them and they're in love with you. You attracted the wrong love. This is like a filter. This gets rid of the bad stuff. So it's like you make a love grid with the rose quartz to draw in love. You put these on there to say for protection and for getting rid of low vibes and negativity and things like that. And so it's like putting a filter on your intentions to filter the negativity that could come with those intentions out. So I highly recommend putting black tourmaline in pretty much any grid that you make. Oh, I just noticed I have another piece over here I didn't show you. This is a piece of haystack tourmaline, but it has a lot of mica on it also. And I just think he's beautiful. That is it for me today, you guys. I hope you really enjoyed learning about black tourmaline. Like I said, it's one of the more common stones, but it's also super, super powerful and beneficial to everyone. So go get you some black tourmaline, girl, or whoever. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a great day. I'll see you all next time.